Welcome to the book of Yehoshua, Perek Bet, chapter 2, where we learn about the story of the spies who go to Jericho, to the house of Rachav. So it says that Yehoshua sends spies. Now, this is very different than the spies that we've seen in the Torah and Chumash Bamidbar and Parashat Shlach. Over there was spies because the Jews were kind of curious. They're like, what kind of fruits are in that land and what's going on there. But here it's really spies to figure out what roads to take, what's the spirit of the people in Israel. It's really very practical. And so Yehoshua sends from the Shittim, which is a place the Jews were in before Arvot Moav. He sends from the Shittim spies. And they go to Yericho, they sneak in, and they go to the house of a woman whose name is Rachav. Now, she takes them in, but the word gets out, and it's the king of Yericho is told that there are two Jewish spies in the city, probably around Rachav's house. So shortly thereafter, there's knocks on her door, and messengers from the king say, these two folks came to you, and it's nice that you're all hospitable and having them over, but nonetheless, they are spies of the Jews. And she says, indeed, there were two people here, but they ran away quickly out of the gates of the city. If you rush now, you might catch them. And so the people of the king took her word for it, and they run out and they lock the gates of the city so no one can come in or out. And they start chasing the spies. Of course, the spies were hiding in her at the top of her house. It says bapishtim. She hid them inside of these flax of linen. Anyhow, she tells them, look, I know you guys are going to win because we've all heard about the incredible miracles God has done for you. We've heard about how successful you've been against the kings on the east side of the Jordan. We heard that Hashem is with you, and in fact, the hearts of everyone in this land are shaking and in trembling from fear from you guys because we know you guys are going to win. And nonetheless, I ask you guys for a personal favor, and that is that when you do come and win and when you do conquer the city, you should save me, not only me, but my brothers, my sisters, my parents, my entire family. Please spare us. And so they tell her, they take this red string and they say, look, we'll save you, but on one condition. By the way, which is pretty impressive to ask someone when your life depends on her, for conditions, but they obviously it's for understandable reasons. They say, look, take this red string and hang it in your window. And if indeed your window will have this red string, then everyone in your home will be spared. But if for some reason someone is not in your house and or the red string is not up, then they will not be spared. It sort of reminds you of the story of Lot being saved from the destruction of Sodom by the angels. Right? So as long as you follow the conditions, you'll be okay. And so they tell her, look, take this red string, put it in the window, and indeed if it's there, you will be spared, you will be saved. And then she continues to hide them while the soldiers of the king chase them all the way to the Jordan. Of course, they're not really there. They're not being chased because they're still in Rachav's house. But the soldiers go and they take control of all of the bridges over the Jordan because that would be the natural way of them running back to the Jews who are not hiding, but who are stationed on the other side of the Jordan River. And meanwhile, she tells them, listen, I'm going to let you go, but don't run away because the king's people are still looking for you. What you should do is hide in the mountains. And the mountains, of course, if you look a little bit east, you have the mountains towards Jerusalem. And so indeed, they go out, they hide in a cave for 3 days. And meanwhile, the king's messengers give up on finding them. Now, what was their mission to begin with? They were supposed to gauge the spirit of the people. They were supposed to see how things are, how the morale for fighting Bnei Israel is, and indeed they got that information. Where? Remember, Rachav told them, she said, I know the people of this country are terrified. I know that you guys are going to win, and every single person in the land of Canaan has heard of the miracles that Hashem has done for you guys, has heard of you guys being taken out of Egypt, has heard about you guys devastating the king of Emori and all those guys on the east side of the Jordan. So really, they got the information, and that is that the morale on their side was higher, And indeed, they come back to Yehoshua with their report. Thank God, being safe. So what did we see in this parak? We saw the spies being sent from Shittim, hiding in the house of Rachav in Yericho. The king's messengers knocking on the door. Rachav sending the king's messengers out to chase them. The doors of the city being locked, and her hiding them in Pishtei Etz, in the flax of linen, and telling them that the entire country of Canaan is terrified of Bnei Israel. And finally, them telling Rachav that her request to save her family when they conquer the land will be granted if she hangs the red string on her window, and whoever she brings into her house when that string is up will be saved. Finally, the spies sneak down a rope down the wall of the city, because Rachav's house is in the wall of the city, so they just have to go out of her window. They go down. They don't run away because the king's people are still looking for them. And they hide in the mountain for 3 days in the caves. And finally, they come to Yehoshua with this fantastic report. Thank you for listening, and see you in next Parak Gimel. Thank you.